listening to BalaCore Fitness Show here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Ellen Como, your host, and I'm here with Judith Owens and Kerwin Burns. We've been talking to Judith Owens, and she is the owner of Ideal Physique in Santa Clarita. And if you haven't heard her story, I urge you to listen to our YouTube. This is going to be posted, this show, and I want you to really catch up on her story because she has a lot of great information she just shared. But now I've given you a chance to get your pens and your pencils or pull over on the side of the road. So go ahead, Judith, give them your information, how they reach you.
So if you are ready to change your life like I did, call me at area code 661-317-8093. We're located in the Valencia Executive Suites, which is 28422 Constellation Road, Suite 120, and that's Valencia 91355. If you're interested in our URL, it's www.idealphysique, that's PHYSIQUE, weightloss.com. And we hope to hear from you soon so that we can support you on your journey.
And you're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on Twitter.
Yes.
Ideal Physique SC.
I love it. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to Kerwin Burns. So this is Kerwin Burns, and you can't see him unless you're looking at our YouTube, but he's our kickboxing instructor over at BalaCore Fitness Studio, and he's going to share his comeback story with you. So let's hear a little bit about where you were a year ago and where you are today, Kerwin.
Well, it actually goes further than that. I've pretty much had taken my health for granted all my life. I played competitive sports all the way up through high school, did the martial arts. I've been in the martial arts for over 40 years. And about 5 years ago, I was self-employed, working in a warehouse, and I was getting dizzy. My wife thought, we need to get you checked out, so we went over to urgent care, and they looked at me and they said, we got to rush you to Henry Mayo. We've got a problem. And my heart went into AFib, but it went into AFib to a point where the heart was beating at like 173 beats a minute. And my normal heart rate is at 64, so that's a big difference. And this Father's Day weekend will be my 5-year anniversary, and I can remember spending those 3 days in the hospital, and when they brought those refibrillators in, I didn't know what they were doing, but they were getting ready to try to reboot my heart, and it scared the bejesus out of me, and I could just remember I broke down because I thought to myself, who's going to walk my daughter down the aisle? So I started making a deal with God. I told him that if you get me out of this mess, I'm going to be a better father, better husband, better everything. And luckily, I got through it, but I had issues coming back. My body was completely weakened, and I can remember my wife being with me every step of the way and taking me for walks around the block, and I could not make it around the block. I would fatigue. And this went on for about 3 months, and then finally we made it around the block, and by the end of the year we were doing 3 miles a day, and started with my comeback. But I've always been involved in sports. I coached for 27 years. I taught the martial arts. I've had 5 different companies, and you just take your health for granted. And I think that because I always felt good, I thought I was good, but my cardiologist told me it's the silent killer because stress creeps in, and if you don't manage your stress, it could turn out really bad. And so luckily I started feeling better. I started, training in a gym, and I started to get it back. And then last year, we had some family members get sick, and my grandfather passed away. I was taking care of my mother and had to take on taking care of my grandmother. So even though I was still a member at a gym, I didn't go for a whole year. And then on a whim, Danny, Ellen's partner, called me up and said, hey, come check out my new gym, and I did. And even though I was still coaching at the time, even though you're on the field coaching, you don't realize that you're helping others, but you're not helping yourself. So I was still neglecting myself, and what was happening was I was developing aches and pains in the morning, tough time getting out of bed. I had a heel issue. I probably went through 1 million pairs of shoes, and I couldn't understand it. But Danny told me about the BalaCore system, and I went over there, and I was probably about 30 to 40 pounds overweight, probably closer to 40. And I went on this invention that Ellen came up with, and that started my comeback again. And I no longer have that foot pain. And it jump-started me. So in February, they asked me, because Danny knew I had the martial arts background, if we would start the kickboxing program. And I'm in the gym 12 times a week now. And I probably feel like, if I'm not in my 20s, I feel like I'm in at least my 30s.
That's
so
amazing.
it's been a blessing.
Yeah, Kerwin, to see Kerwin change from the first time that I met him till now has been such a blessing for me to see that. And, it's come from his hard work. He shows up. My classes are over at 9:30 in the morning, and he was there right at like 9:30 or 10. Okay, come, when's my turn? When can I get in here? I want to do my thing. So we loved it. We gave him and asked him to start teaching the kickboxing classes for us. What I like, in my studio, I don't pick just anybody to teach a class for me. They need to not only be a good instructor and know what they're doing, but they need to have something very special about them. Kerwin had that very special something about him because he really cared about everyone that comes in the gym. And we need to take a break here right now. Awful time for it, but this is the time we got to take it. So we're going to be right back. This is Ellen Como, BalaCore Fitness Studio on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to the Comeback Show, BalaCore Fitness Show here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I have my two guests with me today. I'm Ellen Como, and I have my two guests, Judith Owens, and I have Kerwin Burns here. And he's telling us his story about his comeback. And he is our kickboxing instructor over at BalaCore Fitness Studio. And this is a new teaching kickboxing at our studio is a relatively new thing, but it's becoming one of the most favorite classes in our studio. Everyone that takes Kerwin's class loves it. It's not your typical kickboxing class. Someone isn't standing in the front of the room saying, let's just, everybody follow along and do what I do. Kerwin has a great gift of giving everybody kind of their own station, and he works one-on-one with each and every person that shows up. So if you're not working with him, he's given you a drill or something to do. I'm going to have him explain what that is more. But what I love about his classes is you don't realize how hard you're working until it's over, which is fantastic. I mean, you want fitness to be fun. My classes are pretty straightforward, and even though we can have fun, we can't have quite the fun that you can have in Kerwin's class.
Of fun.
Yeah. His classes, I got to say, is a lot more fun than mine. Mine, I have to stick to some certain things we got to get done so your body gets done a certain way and we get the strength up the way we need to. So I try to have fun with music and other things while your bottom is burning really bad. But
True.
yeah. But Kerwin's class, people are having a great time. I'm finding people are lining up for his classes. So they're really, really growing. And Kerwin is he's a great instructor, trainer, and why I'm so glad to have him at BalaCore Fitness is because of what he brings as far as his caring and love for the people in the class.
Yeah, I was running a mixed martial arts studio about 20 years ago, and it was hardcore training. And I would see like a lot of the parents watching their kids, and I would tell them, hey, get healthy with us, come out. And they would see how hardcore it was and it would be intimidating. So I thought I would come up with like an executive kickboxing class at that time. And what it was kickboxing without the bruises. There would be no sparring. There would be, no intimidating. But we would train. We would do a lot of the correct drills that an actual fighter would do. But we tried to put the fun in it. So my emphasis is always fun. We try not to get anyone injured, and we haven't had that, especially at BalaCore. And we burn about 600 to 700 calories per workout. So it's one of those things that they always say it's over already, and then they look down and their shirt is completely wet. Mm-hmm. And then we have a joke at the end of it, who won, who sweated the most. So it's been a lot of fun that way. And, I'm getting about as much out of it as any of the members that come in. So I look forward to every class, and it's been truly a blessing for me.
Yeah, on Saturday mornings too, our 8:30 a.m. circuit training class that we give at BalaCore Fitness, we always do Kerwins Corner.
Kerwins Corner, I
Kerwins
like
Corner,
that.
that's what I call it, Kerwins Corner. And what we go through, we have stations, 20 to 25 stations set up every Saturday morning, and each and every station is a different exercise. And you do 2 minutes at every station, and you're there for an hour. And when you get to Kerwins Corner, he has his pads on. He's working one-on-one with you in his corner, and then he goes ahead and he tells you what else he wants you to do. So people have really been able to to actually be exposed to what you're doing in the class, and that's what makes people run to his classes, because they're having such a good time at the circuit. So, and then at your regular classes, I don't want anyone to feel intimidated by coming to these classes, because one thing I want you to know, Kerwin, he knows what comeback's all about. He came back. So he remembers.
I'm still coming back.
He's still, okay, see, and like, what better person can you have on a comeback than that? And so he remembers what that is, because he's in it. So when you walk in the door, don't be intimidated, because he's been there, he's going through it just like you are right now. And then the classes that he sets up, everyone at any level can do these classes.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to come back together.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to be coming back the rest of my life, just because of the way I'm feeling now. I mean, like I said, taking it for granted. I think a lot of us get caught up in our everyday lives, bills to pay, work, and all the stress. And if you feel good, you think you're in good shape. But, I found out the hard way. So, I'm learning from my life lesson, and I'm hoping that I can share this story and somebody else will wake up and kind of not have to make the same mistake I made, but come down to BalaCore, take our kickboxing classes. We have 6 of them a week, plus circuits on Saturday. Like I said, we're laughing as much as we're working, and I maybe we're laughing more than we're sweating. So, that's what we're after, and, we welcome everybody.
Yeah, and you can see the class schedule on either our Facebook, BalaCore, or on balacore.net. So we have 2 ways you can get our schedule. And BalaCore Fitness Studio is a place for you to come, anyone at any age, at any level. And it's like personal training in a class setting, where even Kerwin works one-on-one with you in a kickboxing class. That doesn't happen very often. And I might have maybe 12 to 20 people in my class, but I'm watching each and every one of you, and I will run around and try to fix your form. If I have you raise your hand, if you're not in the exact muscle I've asked you to be in, or I want you to be working on. My classes, I will tell you, we are working the glute. This is why we're working it. This is why it's put here. So I don't just say, just follow me and do what I'm telling you to do. I actually tell you why you're doing it. I actually tell you exactly the muscle that you are working, so you can feel it more. And if you're not feeling it in that muscle, you raise your hand, you let me know. I love the rest of the class. They take up the count for me, so I don't have to do the count, and I can spend that time with the person that needs it. Right. And so all around, it makes it a great experience for anyone at any age, at any level. We're going to be right back. This is Ellen Como on BalaCore Fitness Studio on your hometownstation.com. At KHTS.